is the man, the myth, the legend. That is David Furones. How you feeling, baby? You feeling good?
I'm doing well. Yeah, this is the only place where I get referred to as a myth or a legend, but I appreciate it.
We love you, brother. We love you. We appreciate it. And by the way, you asked those questions for Mr. McDaniel on Butch Berry. That's pretty good stuff, man. He got deep, bro.
Yeah. Those who pay attention to the Big O show heard it first on the Thursday program.
Yes,
they knew it was coming.
Yeah, man. So I'm interested. I can't wait till you ask Butch and see his response on all of that too, because he's the one that's had to live it. You know what I mean? So it's actually pretty cool. Today was not cool. What was Tua's reaction to his day? Because you can look at the stats and say, well, he threw for over 300 yards, he threw a couple touchdowns, but the mistakes, the interceptions lately, he's been forcing it a little too much. He's a little loose with the football in my eyes. And then the diving. Kid, you got to slide, bro. No more diving. Diving can open you up to all kinds of injuries and a fumble, which is what ended up happening. So talk to me a little bit about Tua's reaction and how did he handle when you guys were talking about, taking care of the football?
Yeah, well, Tua actually got out in front of it before there was even a question about the turnovers. Yeah, you know how Tua is. He took it upon himself. So I think my colleague Chris Perkins was asking him something about the run game, and then you could tell he just went in he wanted to make sure he got it off his chest that he felt those turnovers were unacceptable, and he took it on the chin, took the brunt of it, that he does not want to play like that at the quarterback position. And even then, like you said, overall the game was still pretty solid when you look at it. 28 of 39, 325, and had the 2 touchdowns. But what sticks with him, because he's the perfectionist that he is the interception and the fumble loss. And those were some tough turnovers. Obviously, the lost fumble was in Dolphins territory, and then and it led to 3 points, if I'm not mistaken, if I recall correctly. And then it was just a miscommunication kind of on the route. Jalen Waddle going underneath the safety, and then Tua was still throwing to him as if he was maintaining his route going deep with depth. So that was the issue on that interception, as Mike McDaniel explained it.
It's just one, and then the fumble. He's got to slide, bro. No more diving. All these kind of things. Why do you think he's a little? Is he overconfident right now? Because that's the only thing I can blame it on, almost, because he's not dumb, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not that. He doesn't have an ounce of stupidity in him. He's a really smart guy, so he's got to understand that. So to me, it's the confidence of these athletes, of anybody. I don't give a shit what it is in life. I don't care if you're a trial lawyer. If you're a really good one, you're probably going to be a cocky, confident one. You know what I'm saying? So is it too much confidence? What is it about him right now that he's not taking care of the football the way he's supposed to?
Yeah, well, I'll throw another word in. There's his competitiveness. The diving forward on a play where he's scrambling, and he turns into a football player in that moment, or any other position player, not just a quarterback. In his mentality, we've seen it a couple of times where he tries to lower the shoulder on a guy. They have to get it through his head. Yeah, slide in these cases. I actually can't recall how close he was, if it meant him getting the first down or not on that play. I can't recall, but that's who he is. He's scrambling. He wants to fight for the extra yardage at that point and dive forward. Now it cost him in that particular circumstance.
Mike McDaniel, talk to me a little bit about the Tyreek Hill screen. It's not working, bro. And you got a fumble last week, and you got Tyreek injured this week. Smythe and Craycraft can't block it. Why do they continue to call it?
Yeah, and then post-game, Mike McDaniel actually said he liked the play call and felt it would have worked, but there was some execution with it that went awry. Now, we saw it. You're down there at the 3 yard line, short yardage going into the end zone. Obviously, it sort of shrinks the playbook. You don't have all your options there, so I could see why sometimes you go to something like that and let Tyreek Hill make something happen. But it's also more closed quarters down there, so it's not like he has the whole open field to work with. So yeah, I mean, it didn't work in that case. It's a tough circumstance, but then a lot of these short yardage situations, you don't have the trust in the run game to go to the run game instead. Even earlier when he kicked on the 4th and 1 that some fans were booing over the Jason Sanders being trotted out for the 51-yarder on 4th and 1. They had 2nd and 1 and 3rd and 1 before that, and those were pass plays too. And if they would have gone for it, I imagine that it would have been another pass play, and you would have risked maybe going 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1, and 4th and 1, throwing incomplete passes and not picking it up. But they ended up getting the field goal in that circumstance. But yeah, just not having the faith in the run game is another thing in those short yardage situations.
Injuries, my brother. A couple people got banged up. Obviously, Achan is the one that we're really worried about because it looked like there was a serious setback there. Even though he came back with the helmet, he really didn't, participate overall. Tua got a little banged up at the end of the half. Tyreek got banged up, came back. Give me the latest. What do we know about any of the injuries?
Yeah, I'll start with Devon Achane. So he got landed on that play. What was it, like his second touch early in the game, and his first game back. So unfortunate there. Mike McDaniel said he got landed on the same knee that he had come back from. So unfortunate first game back after missing the 4 games, and he had just been activated off IR. But he wanted to go back into the game, McDaniel said, but the team was holding him back, so didn't want any aggravation. So definitely a lot of these things you find out more that next day after seeing how he rests off of it. So that'll be key tomorrow when we get those updates. And we have an early availability tomorrow, so maybe even there's not much yet that has been determined at that point. But team obviously hoping for the best there. Tyreek Hill, he went back in the game but hurt his hand. He said it was just a little painful. He said he got a quick x-ray, so obviously he was cleared to go back in off of that, and tried to tape it up. Said it couldn't really feel comfortable with it like that, so went ahead and went without it. And then there's also Svan Ahmed later in the game, so to be determined there. But now the Dolphins, if they're in a situation where they don't have Ahmed and Achane, obviously now you're Jeff Wilson was already healthy and active for this game, so you didn't have him to go in late in this game. It was kind of all on Raheem Mostert as you were going to go heavy to the run game, protecting a lead. So it'll be Mostert and Jeff Wilson in that case, and then you probably need to bring up a third back on the practice squad and elevate him if you're going to need someone for the quick turnaround Friday against the Jets.
How is the schedule going to be handled this week? Because obviously Tuesday's the off day. Tomorrow will be the off day instead. Is that how it is? And then the rest of the week is the work week?
Yeah, at least the one practice that we have access to is on Wednesday. So I imagine then it will get, those injury reports that are an estimation of what participation would have been. And then Wednesday's a true practice. So that's what it'll be.
Wednesday's a walkthrough, dude. Because that's like a Friday practice.
Yeah, well, they'll have to readjust the schedule.
Because they're not really going to have unless Tuesday would be the only day that they're really going to have. Because I almost felt like this week when you saw a lot of the light practice, I almost felt like, well, they're going to have a short week next week. They didn't want to wear them out too much, so try to keep them as fresh as you can over the next 2 weeks. And that's why I'm thinking that Tuesday will be the only real day of practice, and then Wednesday will be like a Friday walkthrough, because then Thursday is Saturday and then Friday is Sunday. So I would imagine that really the day you guys are giving you access, it's like a Friday, really. It's not
I see what you're saying. 2 days before the actual game day.
Yeah.
That's what we have been given as far as the one practice that we're seeing. So I don't know if there is extra practice going on, but
I doubt there's any heavy practices this week.
Right. And I believe they have to open a practice viewing period for any practice that is actually per league rules. So I mean, it could just be a very light week. Just get healthy, get rested for the Friday game. We see it a lot of time. Whenever there's a Thursday night game, it has to be something like that's reworked.
Yeah, it's more mental reps than anything else in classroom stuff. because physically you just can't wear them out because it's a short week, unfortunately for them. So their bodies are still freaking sore as hell by the time, Thursday rolls around. It's still sore. So I would imagine Friday's going to be the same, thing. This game, when you look at it, it's a 3:30 game, right?
Or 3:30, I believe 3.
Right? 3 o'clock. Wow, dude. I wonder how that messes with their body clock this week, right?
Yeah. A lot of different factors. Yeah, you never play a 3 o'clock kickoff. Yeah, this is actually the first
on a
Friday game.
Friday.
Yeah, these guys haven't played Friday since high school. Maybe there was like a random Friday, like UM is going to play on Friday too. So maybe there was like a random college week that these guys played Fridays, but very unusual case here for these players.
The defense has turned the corner, haven't they? I mean, the way Chubb is playing and Phillips, I thought Wilkins had a really good game today. Obviously, Jalen Ramsey was a monster today, and having Jalen Ramsey back has kind of just opened everything up for Vic Fangio. If the offense can get back on track and do what they're supposed to do, Dolphin fans could have something special down the line.
Yeah, there's multiple ways this team can win games. So even when the offense doesn't have its best game and has these turnovers, and sure, from a yardage standpoint, the offense was still okay and maybe executed. The operation was there for a lot of it. Mike McDaniel said there wasn't rust on that side per se, but that the defense can go and win you a game as well. And Jalen Ramsey, my God, those 2 interceptions were just incredibly athletic, acrobatic. Those are plays that other DBs, they are at best looking at a PBU if they're lucky. Like that first one, he's diving for it. At best, so most DBs, even the top tier ones, can maybe get some fingertips on it to hopefully deflect it. But he sees those same type of plays as opportunities for turnovers. So, like Mike McDaniel said, I'm hoping they throw his way, and you see why, because there's a lot of plays that are just he's in the 99th percentile of what he can do with those balls coming his way.
All right, David Furones joining us. You can follow him on Twitter at @DavidFurones_. What do you got going on the Sun Sentinel so fans can check you out, man?
Man, finishing up the coverage of this game, the Devon Achane updates, and then looking into tomorrow. Quick turnaround, just getting into the Jets week, and then they have another availability tomorrow. So be right there for McDaniel, and then I'll figure out my Jets storylines. Then make it through today.
You got it. All right, there you go, David. Appreciate you, my brother. We'll catch up on Tuesday.
Yeah, sounds good.
You got it. There you go, David Furones. Coming through for us. Welt Rheaume, by the way. If you need a law office that you can count on, I know because I experienced it firsthand. We have Progressive Insurance. They weren't really being cooperative. And they weren't willing to do what they're supposed to do in order to fix everything and put it back to where it was. Well, Welt Rheaume brought them to their knees. And that's when Progressive then had to do. And they ended up firing the person that was dealing with Welt Rheaume because Welt Rheaume ran circles around them. So these are the kind of lawyers you want. This is the kind of law firm that actually cares about you. Jeff is a great dude. Dan's amazing. They are a dynamic duo. Call Dan or Jeff. And by the way, the consultation is completely free. So if you think you have a case, Jeff will tell you if you have a case. 954-966-4646. Bankruptcy, personal injury, business owner claims, condo damage, criminal defense, homeowner property damage, commercial litigation. They do it for you. Welt Rheaume.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.